Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you to next Industry 5.0 keynote speech. We will speak about manufacturing, smart manufacturing in the age of Industry 5.0. My name is Mike Rada, I'm human, and I'm the founder of Industry 5.0. Before we start, let me ask you if you know the meaning of this quotation. You probably does. It's Albert Einstein's theory of relativity in physics. But have you ever considered to take it out of the physics and put it in the economy? We did in Industry 5.0. And it came out that it means that economy equals money times corruption squared. It may surprise you. It may surprise you because maybe you forget who you are. Because we have many titles. We are students, we are president, chairmen, we are teachers, managers, we are producers, we are fathers and mothers. We have many titles, but we forgot one, that we are a human being, a living one, not like this man on county art of Plzen brewery. And if we know who we are, let me ask you the second question. Where do we live? We live in beautiful cities like Roubaix, like Paris, Plzen. We live in beautiful cities which we filled with trash. We work in factories which frequently produce in 1 month more trash than a city in a year. We produce products which become frequently obsolete before reaching the end user. We store them in big metal houses filled with air, calling for more of these houses to be built. And at the end of our shift, we go home next to the output of our production. And we arrive and maybe we realize that something what was called food before is called bio-waste today. And we look at the red sky above our heads asking, where do we live? I will answer this question to you today. And much more. What is the existing reality? I was born on December 24th, 1971. At the time our planet was called blue marble. But it's lost its face, and in 2019 there was such a big environmental damage that the planet was not blue anymore, and then started something very strange. In 2021, in many destinations for the first time in a history, they see the blue sky again, and the blue face of the planet show up again. Not because we change our behavior intentionally, but because of virus who locked us down. We are living on a planet around which we have been able to create in just a few decades a global landfill with more than 170 million pieces of space debris. And what we do to the planet? We dig inside hunting for only criteria of success, which is more. More money, more companies, more people, more houses, more cars. Ask Fortune 500 members how they get to the ladder. Ask Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. Ask Bill Gates. They will answer you, we have more than the others do. We are living here together with 8 billion people. Not knowing that 200 years ago it was just 1 billion and 100 years later 1.5 billion. Which means in the last 100 years the human populations on the planet more than 5-fold. And in 2050, some prediction says that there should be 11 billion people living on the planet. Just now, please remember the last image I showed you. We are living here in 206 countries according to UN 193. We are speaking 7,000 languages. We are riding 1 billion cars. And we let 9 million people die hungry, despite the fact that globally more than 23 million metric tons of food and crop is being wasted every single day. We let 800,000 people die thirsty, despite the fact that only California crude oil industry consumes every single day more than 347 million liters of drinking water. We plant our food to throw it away because the leaves are not green enough for the buyer in a chain store. We put our overproduction in a rivers on a land and on a landfills not to spoil the market price. We carry our water in firefighting tanks not knowing that the same amount of water is needed to produce just one and simple hamburger, and we do it on a planet where one sip of water can save not one, but 2 lives. We store our packaging on a parking lots of employees waiting till it becomes waste. We work in factories which has walls lined with environmental certificates, and behind the walls the same company created landfills. We waste and throw away products which do not fit one, but can serve hundreds and thousands of others. We do it under the supervision of World Bank, which says that till 2050 the waste volume will grow, in some destinations even double. In the same report you can read that almost everything can be reused or repurposed, but in fact only 13.5% is being reused or repurposed. And this is what makes the waste industry the third most profitable industry in the world. What is Industry 5.0? Industry 5.0 is the first industrial evolution ever led by man. It recovers the missing link and the connection between nature and human-made ecosystem. It's based on industrial upcycling, and it recognizes 5 types of waste: physical, social, urban, process, and wasting of time. All these 5 can be prevented the same way. All these 5 are being prevented by systematic waste prevention. And this is done by Industry 5.0 principles since 2013 already. What is smart manufacturing? This term was coined in 2006 by National Science Foundation workshop on cyberstructure. As you can see, the smart plant is composed of smart assets that not only provide their basic process function, but provide proactive feedback on the economic, environment, health, and safety performance of the assets in aggregation with the other assets and in the moment. Industry 4 was introduced in 2011, official launch in 2013. In 2016, MESA, the International Smart Manufacturing Landscape, explained that Industrial Internet of the Things, IoT, smart machines, and collaborative robotics, clouds, computing, enterprise integration, and API management platforms, A2A and B2, are multi-vendor interoperability, big data processing, and predictive analytics capabilities. Industry 5.0 is built on different groundstones than all the industries before, because the previous one has been built on the top of pyramids. Unfortunately, we did not realize that the pyramid has not been built for the living ones, but to store corpses inside. And this is why I spent time and defined another groundstone on which the future of the planet, of your country, of your companies can be built. I call it 6R. And how does 6R work? Firstly, you have to recognize that something must not become waste, and trust me, that's not an easy task, especially if you wasted the item before. But the second, even harder, came the next step, because you have to reconsider what to do with it, and trust me, it is really, really hard. So you will probably fail for the first, second, third time, but then when you succeed, you will start to change the world. And maybe this example is too simple, so let me give you another one. Example which may surprise you. Because in all the countries all around the globe, or majority, you can see the power towers, but did you recognize that they have only one function: to carry the wires? I realized it. And I know that there are special wind turbines, which right now are being even implemented in India, horizontal turbines. So if you put these together, you can use the existing power network to generate local electricity. And we did calculation what it will happen if it will happen on a global scale. And such a 1 kilowatt machine will be placed in one power tower every 100. It will produce so much electricity as several nuclear power stations, but it will cost less than one. We are facing the issue with growth. And one of the reasons is that we misunderstood the degrowth. Because degrowth is not a scarcity or a shortage. In fact, degrowth respects the planetary limits. It does not reduce profitability. The very opposite is the reality. Degrowth does reduce negative impacts on environment and on economy. Degrowth fixes a broken social economical systems and reduce the economical gaps. It helps to line up humans with nature again. And it contributes to personal development of every single one. Industry 5.0 is rather young. It was introduced on December 1st, 2015. But in 2020, it was named already Industrial Trend of a Decade. And just 2 years later, it was named a Global Industrial Trend of a Century. The first government named it crucial for country development in 2023. And in 2024, the first companies and organizations will face the judges because of misleading the term by pretending they are Industry 5.0 related. At the end, the term will be coined in original understanding. Till the end of 2025, will Industry 5.0 become a key national strategy by all countries in the world. Smart manufacturing means that the companies should go from robots to cobots, from data to big data, from Gemba to Vemba, virtual Gemba, and digital twins, from planning to advanced planning, from server-based to cloud-based, from mass production to mass customization, from global to local, from physical to virtual. But the very first article which started Industry 5.0 said from virtual to physical. What is the timeline? If you look at the value, you may say it's quite interesting journey from 0 to 1 quadrillion. But if I add what happens at the time and what was the time, it will be surprising for almost everyone who is not aware of the impacts of Industry 5.0. What will happen in 2020? What happened in 2023? The global investment in Industry 5.0 project was over $5 billion. The latest investment of the year was 675 million euro by France and European Commission. The highest was 1.55 billion USA in Canada. Companies which aim and implement Industry 5.0 and take it as a goal, you probably names You can recognize some of the names, like Jaguar Land Rover, Airbus, Bosch, Nvidia, and many others, working in India as well. Governments who recognize Industry 5.0 was Argentina, Indonesia, India, Karnataka, Nigeria, Greece. Industry 5.0 zones has been already established in China, France, and United Kingdom, and a new one is being built in Italy. And there was more than 500 webinars and keynotes realized and dedicated to Industry 5.0 in 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, I have spent 8 years to write a single page, which currently is being implemented globally. It's called a Waste Prevention Policy, and such a document was never used in a human history because it was never needed. It is important to understand that nothing that can be used or utilized again must become waste. Everything must be considered previous existing resource and remain in the system. The secondary use or utilization must not be limited to a primary function of a product or material and can be executed by everyone respecting the rules and safety regulations. Collecting, sorting, baling, and trade are not being considered secondary utilization anymore, and if not utilized on a primary location, it must be offered to others before being wasted. And ladies and gentlemen, please understand one. There is no waste if we do not waste. And it may sound strange, but not a single legislation in the world defines how waste is created, so it must be part of the framework. Because wasting is a process in which from product or material of any kind, volume, and form can waste. Wasting is a system failure. It must be prevented first without any legal restrictions or limitations. Wasting is not a feature of a product or material, but the result of human behavior, and single use is one of the most common forms of wasting. We have to remember some dates. For example, the fact that the term robot was introduced in 1921. And it was introduced 75 kilometers from a place from which I am speaking to you right now. It was introduced by Karel Čapek in his novel R.U.R. In 1984, novel by George Orwell was published in 1949 already. And Matrix movie was produced in 1999. In 1945, the United Nations has been created. In 1948, introduction of General Human Rights Declaration was done. In 1992 and then 1997, the carbon emission trading was launched by United Nations. And just 4 days ago, the American National Standards Institute published for the first time the explanation of Industry 5.0, which resonates strongly all across the US. It is the second time when this American Institute with 115 years of history published an article related to Czech Republic. The first time was 100 years ago, when it wrote about the term robot for the first time. Industry 5.0 have a strong impact. The production volumes will decrease, but the profitability will increase. From smart to wise manufacturing, reduction of manufacturing environmental impact will be so significant as it was the COVID on the global scale. Taking the silos down and established harmonized action. Cross-industry cooperation will be found because it's new. Industrial upcycling and repurpose will become main objective. It will decrease on bank loans and investors' addictions and creates a wasteless world for all, but without creating fortune for few. Industry 5.0 is the first industrial evolution ever led by man, by human. It is new mindset of people and businesses, from wasteful to wasteless. It delivers results without the need of capital investment and is based on the principles of industrial upcycling, utilizing the rich on the ground mines, and is based on transparency, profit sharing, and efficiency. And please understand, Industry 5.0 is not a sales tool or a buzzword. It's a new global ecosystem. Dear ladies and gentlemen, we are living, or we have been living, in the age where our work was digitalized from one day to another, same as the education of our children. And our leisure time was digitalized long time ago, so it looks like that the only who needs to be digitalized is human himself. But if we do so, our home will look like this, because data do not need any light. I realized that long time ago, and I decided I do not want to live in this world. I would like my home look like this. And this is why I started to build a wasteless world for all. And don't worry, I'm not alone. My name is Michael Rada. I'm human. And I'm the founder of Industry 5.0. But together with me, 119 Industry 5.0 ambassadors allow and give access to Industry 5.0 principle to more than 93% of global population. And I would like you to remember that the giants start to shrink when the humans start to grow. And one more thing. I would like to say that you do not need to talk to me. You can talk, for example, to Sagorika Roy, who is the second Industry 5.0 ambassador in India. Thank you. Thank you for your time. And I wish you have a nice time free of waste and wasting in all its forms. Stay safe, be free, and remain human. Thank you.